Okay, so if we look at multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1000, now I'm sure you'll find this quite easy. So let's say we have 2 times 10, and we know that 2 tens are 20. So if we have 3 times 10, we have 30. 5 times 10 we know is 50. So what we're doing is we're just adding this 0 to the number. So 2 plus this 0 gives us 20, 3 plus this 0, 30, and so on. Now exactly the same happens. So if I have 5 times 100, we know this is 500, because 5 with these 2 zeros gives us 500. 7 multiplied by 1000 will give us 7000, because 7 plus 3 zeros gives us 7000. I'm sure you know this, and I'm sure it's very simple for you. Now what's actually happening is this. If we take 4 times 10, now we can write 4 down. Now we could just write 0, but what's happening is this. Behind the 4 is a decimal point, okay, and behind that are thousands and thousands and thousands of zeros. So we actually have 4.00000, but we don't write that in. Now if I go 4 times 10, all that happens is I know the number's going to get bigger, so the decimal point moves back 1 because of this 0, and that's why we write in the 0. So now we've got 40.0000, but we tend not to write that if we're dealing with whole numbers. So if I've got 7 times 100, I've got the 7, the decimal point here moves twice because of the 2 zeros, so we get 700. Now the reason I tell you this is because supposing we have 2.18, okay, and we have to multiply this by 10. Because we know what's actually going on here, we can write 218. Now the decimal point was here. Because we're multiplying by 10, the number gets bigger, so it goes back 1 place, so it goes to 21.8. Okay, so if I've got 37.4 and I multiply this by 10, I've got 374. The decimal point was here. Because I'm multiplying by 10, the decimal point just moved back 1, so we get 374. Okay, we can write 0.0 if you want. Okay, so if I've got 5.216 and I multiply this by 100, now I know that this number is going to get larger because I'm multiplying, and the decimal point is going to move this way 2 places because of the 2 zeros, so it's going to move once, twice, so it's going to be between the 1 and the 6, so I get 521.6. okay, now that's all there is to this. Now if we divide we just make the number smaller. So if I have 8 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. If I divide a number by another number, I always get a smaller number. So the number's going to get smaller. So if I have 84.1 divided by 10, now because I'm dividing by 10, the number's going to get smaller. So the decimal point moves in the opposite direction. So it becomes 8.41, which is smaller than 84.1. So if I've got 235.6 and I divide this by 10, the decimal point is going to move this way one place, so it goes between the 3 and the 5, so I get 23.56. okay, now let's just give you another one. So let's say we've got 427.13, okay, and we're going to divide this by 100. Then the decimal point, remember, is going to move 2 places now because of the 100, and the number gets smaller, so we go 1, 2. So it goes between the 4 and the 2, so we get 4.2713. okay, that's all there is to it. If we're multiplying whole numbers by 10 or 100 or 1000, we just add the zeros. But we know the decimal point is moving. So if we have a number with the decimal point, all that happens is the decimal point moves. So if we multiply by 10, 100 or 1000, the number gets bigger according to the number of zeros. And if we divide by 10, 100 or 1000, the number gets smaller because the decimal point goes the other way. Okay, I hope that's helped, and just practice